free to unmute yourself if you have questions. But the chair / stool is just helpful to have handy because then you don't have to kneel on one knee. So we'll do that kind of regressed version of the stretch today. And then when we do it in future classes, you're welcome to do it in the kneeling position. Okay, so let's actually begin standing. So I know I teased you with that chair reference, but we're actually going to start standing. So here we go. I'm going to move my chair out of the way for a moment. And what I wanted to do today was take you through all the classics, all the ELDOAs. Just go ahead and roll around on your feet a little bit. So I'm just letting the soles of my feet sink into the floor. These are all the ELDOAs that they teach teachers in the very first level of ELDOA because they're just the most effective for the most of the population. And I tend to teach them quite regularly in my ELDOA classes, although not every single class, but I try and get to them regularly because they are so effective. So I'm just going to take you through those. I thought we'd do a classic class today with a little bit of other things in as well. So land on both feet. You're going to feel even weight through both feet, a little bit taller through your spine, and let your arms just sweep out and up with a big inhale. Good, and then exhale, your arms come down. So just a few breaths with arms reaching into the sides and ceiling of your space, and then exhaling down. So you're just starting to settle in to the hour, stretching, breathing, feeling good. And then coming down. It is so hot. Let's roll your shoulders back. When it's so hot like this, I really encourage you to take your time. If I'm moving really fast for you, go slower. Let's roll the shoulders forward. And feel free to explore your way into every posture. So don't just press to maximum right away. Take a second, grow into every posture. Okay, just a little bend in your knees and then straighten your legs. So we're gonna work on softening the knees, hips, and ankles, softening the hips, knees, and ankles, and then straightening them. The spine just stays relatively unaffected, long and easy. And every time you bend, the knees soften a little more. Every time you bend, the ankles soften a little bit more. Good, and then we stay tall through our legs and just start to lift and lower each set of toes. So right toes and left toes, they lift and lower and lift and lower. Good, grow a little taller through the crown of your head. Imagine for me that your ceiling is low and you're pressing your head up against the ceiling. And then we'll start to circle the wrists. So the toes are swapping. You're working through a gentle axial elongation with your spine, and your wrists are circling. And even this wrist motion can feel good. Give your wrists a release by taking them through a full range of motion. Circle your wrists in the opposite direction and start to bring them up in front of you at about chest height. Good, let the fingers go with the circle. Excellent. Let your breath now move into your upper back. With your arms up here, you can breathe into the upper back. Beautiful. Now bring your palms to face each other. Lift one heel and the other heel. Try to keep your head pressed up against that imaginary low ceiling. Good. And start to bring your shoulder blades together and apart. So I'm drawing my shoulder blades together and then sliding them apart. We are doing a couple of different things at once, so take your time to settle into what your feet are doing, what your shoulder blades are doing. Nice, easy breaths. Good, we're gonna go just a few more seconds here. Upper back is moving, shoulder blades are gliding. Start to bring your arms down, and you'll notice as they go down that your shoulders start to go up and down. Lift, elevate, depress the shoulder blades. Elevate the shoulder blades and depress them. Good. Try not to add tension at the top. It's just a lift of the shoulder blades and then a descending of the shoulder blades. Good. Just a few more. And one more. Good. And relax. Start to march on the spot. So let's just walk that out. all of that thinking and some of that tension. You're quiet through your feet. So I'm being a little bit stampy, but try to be quieter than me. Good. And again, the pace that feels good for you. If this is too fast, go a little slower. We're going to play with the arms and legs doing something different. So swing your arms forward and back. Swing your arms forward and back. Yeah, good. And see if you can put a little bit more emphasis on the back swing. So just a little bit of a toss of the arms behind you, like you're just throwing something behind you. Good. Start to articulate through your feet a little bit more. So maybe your feet can peel off the floor and articulate back down. Good. And you're going to take some nice deep breaths. Push the crown of your head up to your ceiling. Good. Draw your tailbone down. Start walking your feet a little wider, still pawing on the floor with the feet. Still swinging the arms back like you're tossing something behind you. And start to slow it down a little bit. Let the arms be a little more passively swinging. Good. And now we've got arms moving front and back, sagittal plane, and legs moving side to side, torso in the frontal plane. So that's why it feels weird, if it feels weird. We don't often move our bodies in two different planes at once. Good, and then you're gonna let your arms come down, let your feet come down, turn your toes out a little bit, and just go side to side, a small knee bend, and you're just carrying your torso to one side and the other side. Let your tailbone sink to the floor a little posterior tilt to the pelvis. Bring your arms out to the sides. Do internal and external rotation, one arm going external, one arm going internal. So the arms are doing something different too. The legs are just softening to one side, through the center, soften to the other. The spine is gently long. The arms are spiraling, one in, one out. This looks lovely. Feel like you're floating in water for a moment. So there's not a ton of effort. Checking in on the breathing. Good, and then land in the center. Turn your toes and your knees in. Bring your hands down to your pelvis. Bend your knees and straighten your knees. And I always have to turn one foot in just a little bit more to match it. Or I can unturn in the other foot a little more. So they're a little more similar. Little bend and straighten. One more time, bend your knees and stay there. Okay. Let's start with the elongation. Pull your tail down, right down into the floor. Feel your low back, maybe without your hand today, feel your low back get longer. Good, then press the crown of your head up against that imaginary low ceiling. Take some nice deep breaths. Notice if your ribs have jutted forward. Try to relax the sternum and the front ribs back. All right, let's bring the fingertips to the shoulders, just lightly touching the shoulders. Keep your pelvis in place and go for a nice slide, a little glide of the rib cage, side to side. Good. Keep your knees a little bent and keep your posterior tilt. Remember that long low back. We're going to keep the low back nice and long. Good. Nice work. Open your arms out slowly to the side. Keep translating. Good. We're going to go 5 more translations. 4, 3, 2, stay over at the right side. Let's take the arms over into a side stretch. Pause here for a moment. See if you can pull your left hip down a little bit. Reach through the crown of the head a little bit. Breathe into the side body. Good, and then bring both hands to your shoulders. Ease your way back up through the center. Start translating your ribs side to side again. Nice, easy, gliding translations. Your arms start to open up out to the sides. Shoulders easy, neck relaxed. Good. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2. Go over to the left and stay there. 1. Take your arms over into your side bend. Gentle version of this today. Reach your arms gently, so bottom arm reaches down and across, top arm over, and draw your right hip bone down and breathe. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Hold for one more breath. Good. Fingertips come back to the shoulders. I ease my way up through the center. Relax the arms, straighten the legs. Good. Heel to walk your feet in, about sit bone distance. Support yourself on your hands here. Now you can stay facing the camera and I will turn to the side just so we're clear. It's going to be the lumbar spine, a little tuck and release. So pelvis and lumbar spine. And release. I'm doing basically posterior tilt, anterior tilt. So you're just moving your lumbar spine. 2 more times like that. Just the lumbar spine, good. Now we're gonna keep the lumbar spine as still as we can. Move just your rib cage. The rib cage lifts up, the rib cage pushes down. My lumbar spine tries not to move too much. I'm putting the emphasis on the area, the section of my spine between my collarbones and my waistline. Good, 1 more time, rib cage. Good, now do everything, round everything, and then lengthen it just back out to straight. 2 more times, round, get a nice stretch, be gentle, it should feel good. And then release to long. So it may not be a deep rounding. 1 more time. Let your arms and your head hang, press into your feet, and gently, slowly roll up through your spine. Good. Feel nice and tall at the top here. Take 1 finger, I'll come closer here, put it on the base of your nose. Take the other hand, or put it at the base of your skull. So I've got base of the nose, base of the skull. We're just gonna practice the neck spine, elongation. So all I want you to do is nod your chin and pull your nose back towards the back of your throat and then release it. And I don't know if you can see, as your nose comes in, you want to flatten and lengthen the back of the neck, and then you're gonna release. So draw in, feel how the base of the skull lengthens and flattens, and then release. And if you're like me, you have to be extra careful that your ribs don't push forward when you go to do the lengthening of the neck spine. Do 1 more for me there. Good, relax your arms now. Good, give your shoulders a little shimmy, a little easy shimmy. Give your arms a little shake, shake, shake. Good, stand on your right leg, pull up through the right side of the body, so don't hold the abdominals, but just stay tall. Bring the left leg up and just circle the left ankle a couple times in 1 direction. And circle the other way a couple times in 1 direction, good. Other side, nice and easy, just a really quick balance on either side. Good, thinking about those 3 levels of the spine, circle the other way. We've got the lumbar, thoracic, and neck spines. Good, come back to the right side, but first, lift your right big toe. Press the arch of your foot into the floor. Grow tall through the right side and float your left foot up and see if you can maintain big toe down or arch down, big toe up. Tuck your pelvis under, so a nice posterior tilt. If you're wiggling, wobbling around, that's great. Proprioception for the ankle, so hold for 5, 4, 3, stronger tuck, taller spine, 2, neck spine included. Nice, good, and then come down, wiggle it out a little bit, and then we go to the other side. Lift the left big toe, press the arch of the foot down. Start tucking your tail right away as you start to lift your right foot off the floor. The left big toe is up, arches down. Find a long spine, tuck the tail quite strongly. Arms can go out to the sides to help you balance. Feel a little wiggle wobbles at the ankles, that's fine for 3. Press that arch down, 2, and 1, good, and come back into the center. Excellent, bend your knees. Last thing here, tuck and untuck your pelvis, just a couple of times. Find your posterior and anterior tilts. We're gonna put everything together into our first standing general ELDOA, so just a full body ELDOA. And then take your pelvis and try a figure of 8. You can drop your arms for this one, it's a little more relaxing. The rib cage is relaxed, not trying to hold it still, but just keeping it easy. And then I pause and I reverse the path of the figure 8, which can be a little bit of a brain tease, but that's okay. Good, okay. Stand up tall through your legs. Let's put everything together. Big toes lift if they can. Otherwise, all your toes can lift. That's fine. Arches of the feet sink into the floor. Good. Now think about the idea of this, but don't worry if it doesn't feel like it's happening. Turn your shin bones out. So from the knee to the ankle, external rotation. From the knee to the hip, internal rotation. Shin bones externally rotating, thigh bones internally rotating. Yeah, sure. Hands on your pelvis. Tuck your tailbone and pull the low back back. Good. Lift up through the crown of the head. Put one finger on the base of your nose and the other finger at the base of your neck. Good. A little nod. Draw the base of the nose in and back and up. Lift the base of the skull. Eyes are automatically going to look down. Now from your back hand down to your tailbone, elongate. Back hand to tailbone. Reach longer. One arm at a time comes out. Externally rotated with the palm flat. You're going to keep everything, so the big toes up and the arches down, shin bones thinking out, thigh bones thinking in, tailbone pulling down, back of the skull lifting up, and then on your inhale, bring your arms up towards your ears. Try to keep your neck spine back, even as your arms come up as high as they'll go today. Now with your arms up by your ears, your shoulder blades are wide across your back. You're going to reach through the heels of your hands, and that might widen and slightly lift the shoulder blades. But your shoulders don't come up into your ears, they're just wide. And from here, we do hold this about 20 more seconds, drawing the base of the skull up and up and up, drawing the tailbone down and down and down, pressing the arches into the floor, pushing the palms up to the ceiling. Stay there for 10 more seconds. I'm just coming in for a closer look. You look good. Eyes are down. Tuck the chin. Get that base of the skull to go back in place. One more breath, everyone. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. A big cat suit stretch. And then one arm at a time comes down. Really nicely done. Easy out of it. Release your legs and your spine. Wonderful. Relax. Good. Grab your stool and or chair. Let's work on this intercostal situation. This intercostal stuff. So I'm going to bring myself a little closer to you. You'll want a chair that's quite steady and sturdy. So make sure it's because you're going to be sitting on one side of it. So just make sure that if you sit on one side and you're on the front edge, that it's not going to tip over on you, right? Just want to be extra safe. So from here, sorry, you know what I should do is probably I should move myself back. Zoom logistics. There we go. Okay, so my left bum is on the front corner of the chair. Left bum. Right leg is out straight to the side. Good. So yeah, you really want to be on the edge of the seat just so that you actually have some room here to move. Take your hands, if you feel comfortable, to your pelvis and tuck your tailbone under so your low back is flat. Now you're as tall as you can be seated in this position. That left foot is grounded, the right leg is reaching long. You're just going to take your arms out to the sides and flatten your palms. So this nice open feeling, good. And a big part of this stretch, because it's the intercostals, muscles between the ribs, it's about breathing. So let's set it up. Keep your elongation. Your right arm is going to go down in front of you a little bit. Yeah, towards the floor. The left arm comes up by the ear. Good. From here, your lower spine, lumbar spine, maybe to the lowest rib starts to side bend a little bit. The lower spine side bends. Excellent. Keep your tailbone tucked. Keep your chin down and the crown of your head reaching. Good. If you press down through that bottom hand, the bottom palm, and up through the top palm, you'll feel like you start to open the sides of the rib cage. And the last thing we need to add is just our neck. So from the base of your neck now, from the t-shirt collar level, I want you to rotate your head to the right. And then I want you to look down over your cheekbones and push up through that top arm, push down through the bottom arm. Look down over your cheekbones, but try to keep your neck spine still long at the back. Tuck the tailbone and breathe. Big inhales into the left side of the body. Strong exhale through the mouth. And then a bigger inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. One more time. And exhale. Good. Release some of the tension in your arms. Just come up to center. If you can, stay here with me. Take the bottom arm behind you now. Good. Same side bend through the lumbar spine, reaching up through the top arm, pressing down through the back arm. So really reach down and back. Good. From here, now the next spine does a little turn towards the left and a little lift of the chin, just a tiny bit of a lift. You can press up through the top arm, down through the bottom arm, same breath pattern. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale. Push that back arm down. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale. One more time. And exhale. And then slowly, bring yourself back up, nice and tall. Relax the legs. Sit in the middle of the chair just for a moment. Good. Wrap your arms around you. And just take a gentle rotation side to side, as though you were leading, scanning the room with your elbow points and your sternum. Good. Nice work, everyone. Relax your arms. Let's swivel over to the other side of the chair. So I've got my right bum down on the chair. Left leg is going to go out to the side. You want your left heel sort of in line with your right heel would be fine. Okay, hands on your pelvis to give you some feedback. I have to move forward on the chair to get this, but you have to tuck your tailbone under a little bit because you want that, you want that axial elongation. Okay, arms come out to the sides. The first one we did was left arm down in front of the body, right arm up by the ear. Tuck the tailbone under just a little bit more, and then go ahead and side bend the lower spine, right up until the last rib, so just the lower spine. Now, if you reach down through the bottom arm and up through the top arm, you really start to open up that right side of the ribs. Good. From here, we're going to side bend our head a little bit towards the left, rotate the neck spine to the left as well, and then elongate through the back of the neck. And then you stay here with that same focused breath, inhaling into the the right side of the body, exhaling, letting that right rib deflate. And then inhaling, opening the right side of the ribs a little more, and exhaling, let it deflate. One more breath. Inhaling, arms pressing away from one another. Good. Let the top arm reach. And then soften your arms. Let's take a break this time. Relax the arms down for a moment. Let the shoulders soften. Good. Here we go. Bring your arms out to the sides. Flat palms, externally rotated. Good. Bring that left arm behind your leg. Bring the right arm up by your ear. Elongate your spine. So pull your tail down. Let the crown of your head stretch up. Start to side bend a little bit in the lower spine, but keep the thoracic spine long. Good. If you really press down through the back arm and up through the top arm, feel some opening in the rib cage there. And now the spine, the neck spine, rotate to look towards your right arm and look up just a centimeter. A tiny lift of the chin. And you're breathing into the side body as your left arm presses down behind you, as your right arm stretches up towards the ceiling. All that focused breath to open the right side of the ribs. Maybe you feel it a little bit more posterior. Maybe it's more in the back this time. Maybe not. Can you push the top arm up a little bit more? Wide shoulder blade and down through the back arm. And then bring yourself slowly back to center. Good, relax everything. Nicely done. Okay, so bring yourself into the center of the chair. Good. Put one hand on your low back. Bring your low back into your hand and feel it get longer, flatter. Good. Take the crown of your head and gently press it up towards your ceiling. Feel your feet nice and flat. Good. See if you can bring your low back into your backhand a little more. And at the same time, if you want to, you can tap your breastbone. I want you to bring your breastbone forward. Good. So the breastbone is forward, the low back is back. And now nod your chin and pull your neck spine back. So eyes will go down naturally. The chin is tucked, the base of the nose is pulling back, and your neck spine and your low back are back while your breastbone stretches forward. Hold here and breathe. It's a funky position to hold, but try to maintain the length for 3, 2, and 1, and then release your spine, release your eyes. Arms come down by your sides. Let's see if we can do that without all of the feedback of our hands. So bring your arms out in front of you. Externally rotate, your biceps point to the ceiling, flatten your palms. Good, here we go. Draw your low back backwards in space. Bring your breastbone forward. It's not gonna move a lot, just a little bit. Then nod your chin and pull the neck spine back as well. So the neck and the low back are moving backwards to the chair. Your breastbone is moving forwards to the camera. You're still stretching crown to tail away from each other. And when you're ready, bring your arms slowly up towards your ears. See if you can maintain the spine, low back and neck spine back to the chair, breastbone forward to the camera, and push up through the heels of your hands. The shoulder blades are wide on the back, and we're holding for 5 more seconds. And 4, see if you can get that little wave through your spine, low back, breastbone forward, neck spine back. And then you're gonna soften the right arm, soften the left arm, and release all the tension in your spine. We're gonna play with that spine movement down on the floor. So make your way down onto your mat. First of the classic ELDOAs I wanna show you. This is a Tina special. It's C45, and it's a really excellent ELDOA for arthritis. It's a fantastic ELDOA for neck pain. C4 is right in the middle of the neck spine. So that means that it tends to be the vertebrae where we bend and extend the most. So roll your way down onto your back. And we're gonna get a little fancy with our C45 today. We're gonna add that little movement of the spine that we just did on the chair. So have your arms down by your sides, feet are flat. Find your low back and just posteriorly tilt your pelvis so your low back comes down into the floor. Be gentle, doesn't have to press really hard, just sink it into the floor. And then lift your breastbone to the ceiling without losing your low back. And then nod your chin and sink your neck spine to the floor without losing your breastbone. So the low back is down, the breastbone is up to the ceiling, the neck spine is down. Stay with that and see if you can stretch your tail through your feet and the crown of your head to the top of your mat. Maintain that and bring your arms up over your chest with your palms facing each other, fingertips pointing to the ceiling. Good. Hold that and elongate your spine for 3, 2, and 1. And then relax your spine, but keep your arms up to the ceiling. Now externally rotate your arms. Your palms will face behind you towards your head. And then flatten your palms. You got it. That's right. So your fingertips should look towards your knees. Your fingertips should be pointing to your knees. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Okay, everyone. Find your low back. Sink your low back into the floor. Little posterior tilt. Without losing your low back, lift your breastbone to the ceiling. Without losing your breastbone going up, nod your chin and let your neck spine sink down and long. And stay there and breathe. Can you retain the breastbone up while keeping the low back and the neck down? And breathe. Be calm. Work gently. Bring one leg in at a time. Knee folded way in over the torso. Feet gently flexed and a little higher than your knees. From here, your palms are flat to the ceiling. Your breastbone is lifted. Your neck and low back are sinking. And you're lengthening your spine, even with that little wave going through it. It's stretching out underneath you. Start to push your palms right up against the ceiling, so straight up over the chest. Don't let them move towards your face or towards your knees. They're perfectly vertical to the floor. Eyes are down. On your inhale, push your arms up. Leave them there as you exhale and lengthen your spine in that little wave. Stay there and breathe. You have just about 10 more seconds. The low back down, breastbone up, neck spine down. That's called a lemniscat. So inhale, push your arms up. Exhale, lengthen the lemniscat. Good. One more breath, everyone. Draw your knees in just a little bit more. There you go. Now the low back is really down. Soften one arm slowly out of position. The other arm slowly out of position. One leg comes down at a time. Your spine releases last. And if you like, let your legs straighten all the way out if that feels good. If that feels good. Yeah. Otherwise, you're welcome to leave your knees bent and just breathe. Let your breath get a little lower down into the belly. So that was C4-5, right in the middle of the neck spine. Good. Take another 10 seconds of rest. I'm going to take you through the general ELDOA, which a few of you know, and a couple of you maybe don't as much. So if you know it well, please add in all the fix-ins, all the internal rotations and inversions, eversions. If you don't know it, just stick with me and don't worry, we'll add all the fancy stuff later. So what you're going to do is take your right leg, bring it in, and hold on to your right shin with your left hand. So hold the right shin with the left hand. Good. Now bring your left leg in, hold your left shin with your right hand. Here we are. We feel like a little squashed up ball. Okay. You want to feel your low back is down into the floor. That's good. You want your low back to be down. Can you at the same time, though, keep the sacrum nice and heavy? So don't let your sacrum lift right up off the mat. Elongate your spine, tuck your tailbone, and reach the crown of your head away from your tailbone. Good, everyone looks good. Let's all flex our feet so our heels push away a little bit. Yeah, you got it. Now we're gonna work in opposite. So whenever the right arm goes out, the left leg will go out. So take your right arm up to the ceiling in external rotation with a flat palm, and then bring that arm back by your ear. Good. Now take your left heel down to the floor and slide your left leg all the way out to straight. Now your right palm and your left heel are stretching away from your body. You're hugging your right leg in so that your spine stays nice and flat. Push through your top arm, push through the long arm a little more, and start to hover your right leg. Hover it off the floor. Keep your low back down and start to bring the leg all the way up to the ceiling. It's straight as it can be. And then fold that leg in and bring your right hand back down to your left shin. Release your left arm up over your chest in external rotation with a flat palm. Bring it back by your ear. That's right, you got it, good. Now bring your right heel to the floor. Let your right leg slide out along the mat, nice and long. Keep your spine flat here, eyes down and chin tucked. Feel how you're reaching that left arm by your ear and the right heel down by the bottom of your mat. Good, so Arna, hold on to your left leg with your right hand. Yeah, good. Now everyone hover that right leg off the mat. Keep the low back flat. And then exhale, bring it all the way up to the ceiling. Good, and then fold it in and your hand comes in on top of that shin. Forearms are crossed again. Take your right arm overhead, external rotation, flat palm. Left leg goes down to the mat and stretches long. Remember, we're working in opposites. Right arm, left leg. Look down over your cheekbones now. Try not to look at the camera. Exhale your left leg up, keeping your spine long and flat. So the whole time the spine stays in elongation. And then you bring the knee and the arm in. That left arm escapes out and goes back by the ear. That right heel comes down to the floor and slides along the floor to straight. Push the heel and the hand away from you And then exhale the leg up, keeping the spine in elongation. Fold the right leg in, bring the left hand in, let the right arm escape. Bring it back by your ear, slide the left leg down and slide it out to straight. Keep going, reaching. Exhale the leg all the way up over. Keep your spine flat and fold in. You're going to do one more time each side. So let the left arm go overhead. Let the right leg stretch out to straight. You're holding on to your left shin with the right arm. Breathing in, exhaling the leg all the way up over the torso, and then folding in. And one more time, let that right arm escape out and go overhead. Maintain your eyes, your chin, your low back as your left leg stretches down long. Big exhale as the leg floats up and the low back sinks and the spine is longer and longer. And then you fold that leg in. Relax your ankles. Put your feet down one at a time. Relax your arms. Go back into straight legs if that feels good for you. Good. Now that one's a good one if you can do it even on the floor, because then your feet slide more easily. The hip flexors don't have to grip. But as you rest, I'll just explain that one. So as you keep your spine in elongation and all the curves of the spine are diminished, you're moving your arms and legs in opposition, you're encouraging cerebral spinal fluid to flow from the brain through the spinal cord, and it does go out, diffuses into the tissues a little bit as well. So 2 cups, 500 milliliters of cerebral spinal fluid. We make that every day in our brains. And it's good to have it flowing around, especially if you've ever had a concussion or anything like that. Okay, let's move on. Roll onto your side and come up to a seated position. Classic ELDOA, number 3. So that was one, C4-5, middle of the neck. General ELDOA, that nice moving one that can get faster and faster. And now T6-7. T6-7 is right kind of behind the breastbone. So if you can picture, sometimes people say bra line, but to me it's not bra line. It's higher than the bra line. It would be like nipple level, depending, whatever. So you're gonna just picture like above the bottom tip of the shoulder blades. So can you, for a moment, let your arms hang at your sides and breathe into that level of your spine. So imagine like a band, kind of nipple level around the chest. And you're going to breathe into that area and see if you can expand all dimensions. So front, back, side, side, up and down. Good. And keep that spot in your mind's eye. Bring your fingertips and thumb tips together. This is that open palm prayer position. I'm going to put my thumbs right up against my sternum, approximately T6 level. And then I'm going to just stir my rib cage around while keeping my knees a little bit grounded and my sit bones nice and heavy. So we try to get this differential movement through the rib cage for this one. Good. And then we go the opposite direction, because it's never the same from one side to the other. Sinking the knees, sinking the sit bones. Beautiful, nice work. Now bring your arms out in front. Separate your hands for a moment. Think about what we did with that neck spine. When you nod your chin, pull the base of the nose back and lengthen through the base of the skull. Can you keep that and slowly bring your arms up and just notice at what point your head wants to pull forward as your arms get closer to the sides of your head. Try not to let it, but at the same time, don't force your arms back. Just notice how far your arms can go. Good. Stay there for a breath. See if you can keep your low back and your neck spine back in place and bring your arms towards your ears. And then relax your arms completely. Good. If you're game, switch over to the other leg in front. New fascial tension through the lower legs, probably the unfamiliar one. Okay, how far back did your arms go? So just sort of think in your mind, how much of your arms did you see in your peripheral vision when they were up there? We're gonna reach our arms out in front. Good. Just do that little open palm prayer position for me, fingertips and thumb tips, and then take them apart, and then bring them together and take them apart. Good, leave them here. Pull your tailbone down into the earth. Root your sit bones down into the earth. Good. Let the crown of your head press up against that low ceiling. Nod your chin and pull the neck spine back. Draw the base of the nose back. You should feel like a perfectly tall statue on the top of a mountain. From here, inhale your arms all the way up to that point where they can go before your head wants to move forward. Stay here. Feel your shoulder blades wide on your back. Now you're going to widen your shoulder blades as you reach up through your fingertips. And then you're going to keep your shoulder blades wide and bring your arms closer to each other. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the fingertips, widen the shoulder blades. Exhale, bring the arms a little bit closer yet. And 1 more time, wide shoulder blades, lift the arms up. Keep them there as you bring your fingertips and thumb tips together. Open palm prayer position. Keep your arms where they are. Check in on the spine. Neck spine is back, chin is tucked, low back is back. Sink your knees down and out. Reach up through the arms, wide in between the shoulder blades. If you feel you can, bring your arms a little more back by your ears and reach them up towards the ceiling. And we're going to hold here and breathe for 10, 9. You should feel a good stretch between those shoulder blades. Let T6 deep coapt, lift off of T7 for 5, 4, 3. Your breath will help. 2. Nice work, everyone. You look really good. Soften your arms down 1 at a time. Release the tension in your legs. Release your spine. Go ahead and recline back on your arms. Separate your feet to wider than shoulders. Bend your knees a little bit, and then we'll go for a little tick-tock side to side or windshield wiper. Did anyone feel that between the shoulder blades? Thumbs up if you felt anything in the upper back. Yeah? Excellent. Okay, a couple yes. Fantastic. I like it. I find that one every time I feel it. Okay, why is that one good? T6, 7, hugely important for digestion. Those nerves feed a lot of the organs in the abdomen. Everything from the spleen, pancreas, liver, and stomach. Give your knees a little shake, shake, shake. Come sit up on your sit bones here for me. And just bend your knees so that your feet are now flat. And you want to aim for about a 90-degree angle between your shins and your thighs. I'm going to hold on to the fronts of my knees. Those of you who have done class with me before, stay where you are. I'll show you from the side. We've done this lots of times. So what I want you to do is find yourself tipping back onto your sit bones, the back of your sit bones. Good. Yeah, you don't have to move, Tina. I'll just move. And then use your arms to bring yourself onto your sit bones. So you're going to go tip back off the sit bones and then use the strength of your arms to come up. Good. 2 more times. Tip back off the sit bones. See if you can soften the hip creases as you come up. Just see if the hip flexors can turn off because you're using your arms to bring yourself up. Good. Now stay lifted right on the top of the sit bones. I want you to imagine you're on the peak of a mountain. You're going to take your arms out in front of you. Reach them like you're reaching for someone. Good. Bring your low back back a little bit. Bring your neck spine back a little bit. And just take one arm up towards your ear and see if you can maintain your spine as the other arm reaches forward. And then change them. One arm forward, the other arm up by your ear. Can you maintain your spine? Do that 1 more time each side. One arm goes up. That's it. Doesn't matter which one. Good. And then the other arm up. Good. Now bring both arms up by your ears. Flatten your palms. Find your shoulder blades wide on your back again. And then push your hands up against the ceiling. Good. Let your sit bones sink into the floor. Let your spine elongate crown to tail. Beautiful. Can you bring your arms a touch closer to your ears and hold for 5? And 4. That's it, Nancy. Nice. Nice, Tina. That's a good position. Good, Arna. Don't force it. That's plenty. 3. Good. Pat looks good. Nice, Janice. 2. Nice, Sharon. Bring your low ribs back a little bit. Ha, good. Soften one arm down at a time. Good. Go ahead and recline back on your hands once again. Wide feet. flexed, and then drift the knees side to side. Good. So many of us, you're in good company, or maybe I'm in good company. Keep going, keep releasing your hip flexors. If, as your arms go up, so watch my rib cage, my arms go up, and then in the effort of pushing up, all of this starts to go up with it. And all of a sudden I've lost that nice elongation. So just something to be really aware of in your mind's eye. Okay, give your legs a little shake, shake, shake. So a nice bongo drum with the legs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then flop in and out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This is cute. Looks like everyone's waving with their feet. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then finish. Bring your feet in. 2 90-degree angles. Good. If you're feeling up for it, let's do the lemniscat with the feet. So you're going to lift your big toes if you would like. Drop your arches into the floor. Roll your shin bones out. Roll your thigh bones in. So that's your lemniscat. That will turn on the hip flexors a little bit, so feel free to drop it if you don't like it. Take your arms out in front of you. Reach for someone in front. Be right up on top of your sit bones. Lift out of your low back. Lift out of your rib cage. Good. Nice spines, everybody. That looks great, Janice. Yeah. Externally rotate your arms and flatten your palms. Nod your chin. Pull the base of your nose in and back. Lift the base of the skull. Breathe calmly. Let your arms come up, but don't let your ribs go forward. Arms go up, shoulder blades widen across the back. From here, we're going to press the palms up to the ceiling. We're going to press the sit bones into the earth. Palms press to the ceiling, sit bones press into the floor. Beautiful work. Janice, a little more forward on your sit bones if you can. Just a little more. Good. And now bring your lumbar spine back. Just a touch. There it is. That's it. Now push up through the palms, everybody. Arms a touch closer to the ears. Can you go for 10 more seconds? Nice, Arna. Nice, Tina. 8, 7. You got it, Pat. You can do it. Nice, Sharon. Good. Focus, everyone. 3. Beautiful, Nancy. Arms a little closer for 2. Yes, nice. And 1 more breath. Very slowly to come out. Nice work. Releasing the legs. The spine comes out last. And then you stretch your legs out in front and you go for whatever release you like. Bongo drums, flopping back and forth, or windshield washers, or just sit. Whatever works best for you. Good. T8-9. That was T8-9, right behind the breastbone. Also a hugely important one. Linked to proper hormone release, insulin release, blood pressure, blood production. So big, big, big one. Also, that one tends to create a bit of emotion. So if you feel emotional, that's probably why. Let's lie back down on our backs, all the way down. They call it the issues in the tissues. Issues in the tissues. So if you feel a little emotional, you know, it might be some issues in the tissues, and that's not a bad thing to release. It's good. Go into little posterior and anterior tilt for me. Nice, easy posterior, anterior tilt. And if you're game for this one, I should have said this at the beginning, sorry. If you're game and you are willing to try on the bare floor, we're going to do general ELDOA again. Try it on the bare floor. It's just, it might be easier to slide. So I'm going to come all the way down. And we're just going to do 4 sets each side. So bring your knees in, hug them right into your chest. Cross your hands so you're holding on to the opposite shin. If you're drawing your knees in close to you, you can hold your knees or your shins. Your low back should automatically be down. And then you're going to try and get your sacrum down as well. You're going to nod your chin, look down over your cheekbones, and flex your feet. And let's begin. Release your right arm up and back towards your ear. External rotation, flat palm. Put your left foot down and slide your left foot along the floor. Breathe into the stretch between the heel and the hand. And then exhale your low back down as your leg floats up the longest route up to the ceiling. And then your leg comes in. Now the left hand is going to release back towards the ear. The right foot slides down flat along the floor. You reach them away from one another, maintain your spine, and you exhale the leg up as the low back stays long in the floor and fold in. Let's do the right arm overhead again, left leg down, sliding long, breathing in. Big exhale as the leg stretches up towards the sky, pushes the ceiling away, and fold in. Left arm, right leg. Slide the leg out. Find the low back and the entire spine long. Exhale the leg all the way up as the arm continues to reach. And then everything folds in. 2 more times each side. I'm going to have a quick look. I want you to really focus on keeping the spine nice and long, even as that leg goes out and away. Nice work, everyone. That's beautiful. Stay with your breath, stretching the arm, releasing the leg. Good. As the leg begins to reach and float up, the low back stays heavy. Good. You've got 1 more each side. We'll release the right arm and the left leg. Good, nice, that's it. Good, really flex that foot, Nancy. When it comes back up, you'll just get a little more stretch. Good, left arm and right leg is the last set. Nice work with your spines and your eyes, everyone. Good. It's the best kind of exercise. Fold your legs in, release your feet, release your spine. That's a pretty subjective opinion. It's not the best kind of exercise, but it's a good kind of exercise for sure. Okay, pause there for a second. Find your belly button. I want to do 1 more seated ELDOA that is not technically a classic ELDOA, but it's so important because your gravity line, your plumb line, runs right through it, and that's L3. L3 is your 3rd lumbar vertebra right behind your belly button. For most of us, it might be a little above or a little below, depending on your spine. So when you're ready, roll onto your side and come on up to a seated position. How do we get to L3? Well, you're going to stretch your legs out in front of you, fairly long. They can be a little bit bent if your low back is tight. Let's practice the arms first. So if you want, locate your belly button. Okay, there's my belly button. Directly behind it, or very close to directly behind it, L3. Maybe you can articulate that a little forward and back, so see how you feel. Now take your right arm out in front of you and just bring it up by your ear. And then you're gonna open your arm out a little bit. And let's say it's not a full 45 degrees, it's a little bit less, And so if I drew a line from this arm down through my body to my left sit bone, it would pass through my belly button. That's what I'm thinking. And then see if you can bring your other arm up to match the other side. And imagine here, keep your arms reaching. If you drew a line from that left fingertip down into the right sit bone, that you would have a nice X through the belly button. Good. Relax your arms down by your sides now. Do a little posterior, anterior tilts, a little rock on those sit bones. Bring your feet quite close together. They're almost touching, but not quite. Flex your feet. And now shine them out to the sides of the room. So if my feet were flexed and facing forward, they're like this, and then I'm going to have them look out. And you're going to pull your toes up towards you. Bend your knees a little bit, which they might already want to bend, just a teeny little bend. And then from here, if you open your legs out, you'll end up in this nice long diamond. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe bring your heels a little bit closer together. Yes, good. Okay, hands on your thighs and lift up out of your pelvis, out of your low back. Take your arms out. Good. Maintain your spine really long. This is the last seated one. Bring your back against an imaginary wall. Pull your tailbone down into the floor and press the crown of the head up. Let's bring our arms up towards our ears. See if you can find that V where the X crosses right through the belly button. And then flatten your palms, spread your fingers. Good. Radiate out through the heels of the hands and start to widen the shoulder blades and reach the arms up. So all the muscles and tissues in the back get drawn up through the arms. And then maintain that As you sink your tailbone and your sit bones into the floor, let your knees be heavy. Last little bit, tuck your chin, pull your neck spine back, draw the base of the neck long. Keep your eyes down sort of between your heels or just in front of them. Let the neck spine lengthen. Let the arms pull the back muscles and all the tissues up and away. And keep that as you sink down through your sit bone, through your tailbone. Flex your feet, sink your knees. You're holding here for 10 and 9. Could you breathe in behind the belly button? Could you lift L3 up and fix L4 down for 3, 2, lift up one more time. Good, soften one arm at a time. Nice endurance, you got it. Relax your legs. Good, hug your knees into your chest for this one so that we don't round forward too much and just rock side to side in your sit bones. So in that decoaptation, when we pull L3 up off of L4, we create more space for the intervertebral disc, which is a really nice thing. It's going to pull in lots of fresh water. And after that, if what we end up doing is forward bending, then we squish the front of the disc a little bit. Not the end of the world, but nice for it to stay plumped up for a little bit longer. You've made it to the end. Let's go to the wall and do L5S1. So really nice work, everybody. Take yourselves over to the wall. I'm going to just come into the, actually, you know what? I'll bring you with me. I'll do it too, just for the first bit. So today, let's put the sit bones right up against the wall. So I want you to see if you can get your sit bones right pressed up against the wall. And even if your knees have to bend a little bit to maintain that, totally fine. So here we go. Sit bones right up against the wall, legs up the wall. If your hamstrings are tight, your knees stay a little bit bent, no big deal. You're gonna have your hands on your low belly to start. Maybe do a quick self-check. I see some of you already did it, where your pubic bones, sternum, and nose are lined up. And just start flexing and pointing your feet, maybe 1 foot flex, 1 foot point. Flex and point, flex 1 foot, point the other. This little pedal through your feet. Good, keep doing that. You don't have to go crazy with it, but just get a nice movement through your ankles. Good, and let your low back sink, 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 sink into the floor. Heavy low back. Good, relax your feet now, roll your thighs in and out. Just let your legs roll in and out from the hip socket. In and out. Good. Keep the low back sinking. Leave your legs parallel, flex your feet, and let's just practice inversion, eversion. Shine the soles of your feet into each other, and then shine the soles of your feet out. So inversion, your feet look at each other. Eversion, your feet look out to the sides. And if you can keep this an ankle movement and not move your shins and your thigh bones too much, that's great. Good, nice work. Okay, relax your feet, relax your legs. We'll add the legs later. Let's think about the low back. So pulling the tailbone towards the wall. That sets your lower spine into elongation. Nod your chin, press the crown of your head in the opposite direction of the wall. So the tailbone is trying to stretch into the wall. The crown of the head is trying to escape into the center of the room. Bring your arms up over your chest and feel the upper back and the rib cage dropping down into the floor, bringing the waistline down with them. Externally rotate your arms and flatten your palms. So we're set up with the arms and the spine. Eyes are down, jaw and throat are very soft. Flex your feet, heels stretch up the wall, turn your leg bones in, and then invert your feet so your big toes dip right down towards your belly button. Pull all the toes down towards the floor. Now if you press your calf muscles a little bit into the wall, you'll feel the sacrum, the base of the spine, pressing into the floor. Maintain that tension in the legs and the sacrum And bring your arms slowly back towards your ears, softening through the chest wall as your arms go overhead, softening through the front ribs. Let the base ribs drop to the floor. Let the waistline sink. And start to reach your arms more away from you. Those shoulder blades once more widening on the back. And you're dragging the low back gently, slowly away from the sacrum. So the heels reach and the calf muscles press. The base of the spine drops right down into the floor, sacrum drops. And then the arms and the torso lengthen to pull the low back away from the top of the sacrum. 10 more seconds there. Stay with your breath. Excellent. Nice work. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Everybody looks good. One more exhale to drop those ribs down towards the floor. Yes, fantastic. That was great, Pat. I saw your ribs drop a lot. Soften one arm at a time. Good. Soften your legs one at a time. Relax your spine. Nice work, everyone. Just stay there and rest. You're all done.